This past season I did a lot of races, had a lot of fun, and had a lot of great experiences. But there's always a few things at triathlons that most triathletes will agree are just really annoying. We're going to start before the race actually starts, and that's when there's race delays. When you're expecting to race at 8 o'clock in the morning and you want to start then, get your whole morning ready to start at 8 o'clock. But then turns out they end up starting at 8:30, 8:45 for some random delays. It is understandable to be 10-15 minutes late. There's always a few unexpected things. But when the race starts half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour after you're expecting it to start, that's just something that's really annoying and definitely can throw your whole race off. Another thing that I find annoying is when either the swim, bike, or run course is just really confusing and it doesn't really seem to have a good rhyme or reason. When you have to turn down a bunch of random back streets that aren't well marked, it can be really confusing and really easy to just kind of go off course and do something wrong. And adding on to that, sometimes when you have a question on race day, you're not exactly sure which way to go during a race, and you ask an official and they don't even know where the course goes, that can just be really frustrating because you have to find the specific right person that actually knows how the course goes. It'd be a lot easier if everyone actually knew where the race went and if it just wasn't so confusing in the beginning. Another thing I'm sure we can all agree is really annoying is when the run from the water to transition is just super long. I've been to races where it's been 300, 400, 500 meters running from the water all the way to transition. I know sometimes it just has to do with where the location is of the course, but it's definitely not fun running for that long when you're just coming out of the water. Once you finally get to transition, a thing that I think most triathletes hate is when it's just so confusing. When they make you run a whole lap around, maybe 2 laps, you gotta go give a high five to someone or something. Who knows? Even if you look at the whole map a few times before, when you jump out of the water, you're not always thinking super well, and it can be really hard to figure out where you're actually going. And I totally understand that they're trying to make the whole transition fair for everyone, so it does kind of make sense, but it's just something that's pretty annoying for most of us. So once you finally get on the bike after figuring out how to get out of transition, something that I find really annoying, and it might not really apply to everyone, but I hate it when the roads are all bumpy, all cracked up, and they're just really bad condition. I put so much money into my bike, I don't want to be riding it down the race and my wheel cracks or my frame gets damaged, or I don't know, my wheels go out of true because I'm hitting bumps and cracks all over the place. I find that to be really annoying. The race organizers definitely can't really tell the city to like repave all the roads just for the race, but it's just something that I find annoying, and I think most people that have pretty nice bikes and like to keep them in good shape will definitely won't really like having cracks and bumps all over the place. Pretty much all the races here in Manitoba and Canada, they don't allow the race officials to block off the roads, so there always has to be traffic going through even during the races. And I find that a lot of the people that are just driving through have no clue what's going on. They'll be driving their cars way too fast and way too close to the riders on the bike. And I find that definitely can be pretty unsafe, and that's not something you want to be thinking about during your race, is trying to avoid getting hit by cars. I'd rather be focusing on my pacing, on my nutrition, and how I'm feeling, and not trying to dodge people that are swerving off of the road trying to hit you or something. So this next one hasn't really affected me this year since most of the races I've done have been great, but reading online there's a lot of people that have been complaining about races where on the run there just isn't enough water stations or aid stations where you can grab Gatorade or water. And that can really affect your race if you're expecting to have water and you don't have any, or you want to take a gel down but you don't have anything to wash it down with. It can be really annoying, and it would definitely affect my race if there weren't enough aid stations out on the run. Once the race is done and you want to just go grab a bite to eat, you really need to fuel up, grab some fruit or something. And at the end of the race, the food table has like water and a cookie or something. Every once in a while I'll do a race and I'm just really disappointed in the post-race food. Most of the time you can tell the people that decided what food we would want weren't really triathletes and maybe didn't know, or they just didn't have enough food, and you get to the end of the race and people have already eaten everything. For most of these races, registration is not cheap, and I kind of assume that post-race nutrition should be a pretty big priority for the organizers, and it's definitely disappointing when the post-race nutrition just really isn't as good as you'd expect it to be. Now this one, I'm sure everyone will agree, is one of the most annoying things in triathlon, and that's when your results take forever to come out. At my last Olympic distance race, it took over a week just for the results to come out, when they came out, they forgot to include like a few different age groups, including mine. So I had to email them, and I think it took a few more days, and they finally had my times out. At that point, it'd been almost 2 weeks since I did the race, and that's just especially really annoying for me, since I really just have to go brag to my friends right away, tell them that I'm way faster than them, tell them that I beat them by like 20 minutes, but if I don't have my times to back me up, how are they gonna know that I'm a way better triathlete than them? The last thing that I hate, and I think you guys will agree, is when they don't have transition times. So when I hop out of the water and then I have to run 500 meters to the transition, I don't want to have that extra 45 seconds to a minute, maybe a minute 15 added onto my swim time. I know it takes a bit more effort and you need more timing mats and stuff, and it can be more confusing, I guess, for the timing people. So I definitely do appreciate it when I go to other places and they do have my transition times. It's pretty awesome, and I get to compare with other people how fast my actual transitions are, and you actually get accurate swim, bike, and run times. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'd love it if you left a comment down below with other things that you guys hate for races that I might have missed. I love to read them, and I'm sure you guys will too. Be sure to leave a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you're not already to see more triathlon videos. And don't forget, never stop trying. Eat a bug there, gross.